Hello everyone and welcome back for another Ask Nico Q&A where you send in your questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. You'll have to excuse any low energy. I have not got that much sleep the last couple of days. I've been very busy. Though I do have good news. Those of you who are interested in coming out to the UK retreat finally got pictures of the place we'll be staying. I'll be putting those up on the Scarlet Moon fan page on Facebook, as well as sharing them all over the damn place. So if you guys are curious about lodging, that will be coming up here right quick. Let's get started with your Q&A. L. Jean asks, "Hi Nico, great Q&A. I have a Q. I have transiting Pluto, exact conjunct my natal south node in the 10th house. Will you tell me what in general this would mean for me? I am a 7th house, 21 degree Libra Sun, 28 degree Sag. Okay, so as far as like doing a full-on like astrology chart reading, I probably couldn't do that all in a Q&A. Hi honey bunny, my cat just jumped on here. But what I can definitely say, with Pluto exact conjunct your natal south node in the 10th house, there is definitely going to be a big mark of completion coming up here as far as your sense of career direction or work direction is concerned. Pluto is all about, yes, establishment, but it is currently retrograde over your south node, which indicates that there may actually be some unexpected payoff coming on that will actually launch you into a long-term growth opportunity here. This looks really promising. However, I would be careful because your south node is in the 10th house. That means your north node is in your 4th house of home and family. And with Pluto opposed to the north node, there may be an issue coming up here fairly soon where your roots or your family life do come in direct consequence or direct conflict with Pluto and your career efforts as far as that is concerned. Make sure that you do things deliberately, but also at the same time, your north node is definitely saying, you are here to learn about planting roots and creating, a new, I guess you could say, a new kingdom for yourself. So don't spend all of your time focusing solely on career gratification. Integrate that. Maureen Lowe asks, "Hey you, hello. What would you say is more important, a more dominant planet in the chart? The ascendant ruler or the planet with the heaviest aspects?" I would say that as far as like a personal chart is concerned, I would say that the ascendant ruler and probably I honestly think the Saturn would be the most dominant in a person's chart. The planet with the heaviest aspects speaks a little bit more to, I guess you could say, the events that are kind of setting up around a person's chart. But if you're talking about a personality chart, I would definitely say the Ascendant and the Saturn, to be perfectly honest, because Saturn kind of talks a lot about not only our personal limitations, but our own sense of ethics, our core values, our code of honor, and how we actually function and enact that. Some signs have a strong code of honor, some signs have an odd code of honor, some signs have no code of honor, and so that could make a big difference there. I hope I answered that correctly. Passionate and Loyal asks, "Question for your Q&A. I was wondering if someone were to put a mirror behind their altar, what would that do, and what effect do mirrors have on a room?" Well, from a feng shui perspective and from a general witchy perspective, you don't want to keep mirrors in your bedroom, okay? That can screw a lot of things up. Mirrors have a tendency to work as portals and also work as sort of create double energies. And when we look at that in an altar setting, I've got a mirror on my money altar, and so it amplifies, it's underneath my crystal grid. So it helps to amplify and cast that energy out. Mirrors do better in situations where the intention is fixed. You don't want to set a mirror in a place that, or on an altar or in a spell that is meant to do like 150 kabillion things. You really want it to focus on one intention or one energy and then send that out. If it is kind of amplifying everything at once, it can increase the opportunity for neutralization or perhaps even things going haywire in the magic. Mirrors in a room do tend to change the current or the flow of energy as they move about as well. So it's always good to keep mirrors in places like, say, the kitchen, where it can amplify the energies of industry and help out with work and with money. You want to keep mirrors in either hallways or in your living room to also expand the energy in the room and make sure nothing gets stagnant. But keep them out of your bedroom. When it comes to mirrors in the bedroom, a lot, in feng shui, again, it multiplies the amount of people in the bedroom. So if you're single, it'll make it look like you're crammed up and coupled. And if you are coupled, it adds an extra person or two to the relationship. Jared asks, "Hey Nico, I'm a novice reader and I've been reading more and more about out of a local shop here in Columbus, Ohio. I want to transition to online someday, but I don't think I could do it yet because it looks like a real big time commitment." Yes, it is. And I'm still in school. That's probably good. Yeah, you don't, because you can always set your limits and things like that, but if you're gonna, do this for a living, it's a time commitment. It really is. You've got blogs, vlogs, all kinds of stuff like that going on. I have a question about duration of readings. Will I ever be able to go longer than an hour reading for a person without getting totally drained and wiped out? I feel like in my training I tend to burn out if a session goes much longer than 60 minutes, and a lot of people like to get an hour-long reading and do go for a lot longer. Advice? Well, I don't actually offer 2-hour readings. Some people ask to get 2-hour readings, but I tell them no. I myself feel even I don't really go a whole lot farther than an hour, or I can't really without getting burnt out. And every once in a while, you can end up going into that place. Everyone goes over in their appointments and in their sessions every once in a while. There's always that extra 15, 20 minutes or something like that. And, some readers try to offer 2 hours, or, people come for 2 hours. You gotta check the motivation on that, because you will get drained. If you're trying to do giant 2-hour readings, make sure you're not being motivated by the money. And if a person's begging for a 2-hour reading, maybe they're motivated more by, your energy. Okay? And some people do come for the energy for readings, because if you're doing a reading right, you're offering therapeutic energy. But make sure that energy motivation and money motivation are not what's making you do 2-hour sessions. I don't think you really need to work on going further than an hour, that just doesn't seem like something I would do. Eloise. Hi, my beautiful raven-haired friend. It's not very raven-haired right now, it's actually starting to change color in the sun. 2 questions for your brilliant Q&A. What do you say when a spell's written words disappear from the paper they were written on? Granted, there were traces of oil in the pouch, but the spell is for romantic longevity. Okay, when a spell's written, when an ink comes off the paper, that's actually a very big thing, and that can happen in a lot of cases here. If it comes off, then I would honestly say that the magic has probably spent. Now that means that we either need to recharge the pouch or allow it to manifest what it's going to. If you're working on longevity in a relationship that is going on right now, I would not worry so much. Keep the pouch and recharge it maybe during a waxing moon period, or a period where the moon is either in a water sign or an earth sign to add to that longevity. If the ink is wiped off or dissolved or gone away, believe me, that pouch, that spell as it was, has served its purpose. So you definitely do have good news there. But it might need to be kind of charged up at least until we kind of plant some firm roots in this relationship. Then we won't need magic anymore. And second one, astrologically speaking, with 4 retrogrades in my natal chart, Saturn in the 10th, Uranus in the 3rd, Pluto in the 2nd, and true Lilith in the 4th, I've been trying to figure out whether this makes a difference when the same planets and Black Moon Lilith go mundane retro. Is that kind of canceling it out? Yes, there is some kind of canceling out, actually. A lot of astrologers say, when you're born with a retrograde in your chart, whether it's a Saturn retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, whatever, it does it's almost like a vaccination. You're kind of given a little bit of immunity. You're born into that vibration, you're born into that energy. And I always see those as catch-up periods. When you have Uranus and, and Saturn and Pluto retrograde, in your natal chart, or any natal retrogrades can tell a lot about either A, level of initiative, or B, how you were raised, how you grew up, the home environment. So, think about that when you're considering things like Saturn in the 10th, Uranus in the 3rd, because if they're retrograde, it does indicate, you might not necessarily have a high level of initiative to focus on what that planet represents in that area. And knowing you personally, Saturn in the 10th, somebody might be trying to push you to go out and be, an attorney or a solicitor or something like that. But I know you're not going to do that. You've got Saturn retrograde there, so of course your level of initiative is going to be, channeled into something much less conventional. So I hope that answers your question. God, I hope it answers that question. All right? And many thanks to you, sweetheart, and thank you. Yes, the garden is coming along very well. So that is it for questions this week, everybody. Do not forget, if you want to ask a question, you can always leave a comment below, post it on the Scarlet Moon Facebook wall, or you can tweet at me at Scarlet Moon Nico. And if you're curious about the next live Q&A, I have that scheduled for the last Tuesday of June, so look forward to it. And if you guys do want to come out and see me in the retreat in the UK, it's going to be August 7th to August 10th. All the information will be below at collaborative-consciousness.com. I'll talk to you later.